Aaron, why do you talk about business and money all the time? I said, oh, that's easy. I don't want to misrepresent Christ in the marketplace. I don't want to be out there talking about a God of abundance while I'm broke as a joke and ready to choke. I want to be such a good illustration of the blessing of God that people who don't even believe in God want what I got. And I got folk who don't believe in God who come and pay me a lot of money to teach them the stuff I know. And guess where I teach it to them from? The Bible. And they don't, in a dozen years, nobody's ever complained, why do you have to teach me? This is my spot. That's God's plan. That's his perfect cure for you being poor. That you study to be quiet, do your own business, working with your own hands, as we commanded you, that you may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing. And gospel means good news, and I believe in the gospel. He can make you not want it because you think there's something inherently wrong with it. But I got news for you. This whole idea that there's something inherently wrong with making money is satanic. Myron, you sound like a prosperity gospel preacher. I don't know what that means because I haven't found that term in the Bible. But I believe in prosperity, I found that term. And gospel means good news, and I believe in the gospel. If I had to pass a 9th grade grammar test to save my grandmother's life, I don't think she'd make it. Right? I'm just like, I can't pass. Like, if I had to pass a 9th grade algebra test, probably ain't happening. I know how to use technology, I know how to use automation, and I know how to use delegation to achieve things efficiently and effectively with the help of technology and people that I could not do by myself. Here's the thing, though. If you're going to sharpen the axe so you can create more wealth, number one, it takes time to sharpen the axe. That's the bad news. The good news is it takes less time to sharpen the axe than it does to chop down the tree with a dull axe. Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. So the trick question I have for you this morning is, was Abram rich? No, he was very rich. So I've got a question for you. God calls Abram, promises to bless him, said, if you do what I tell you, I'm going to bless you. He does what he tells him. He gives him gold. If wealth is such a curse, why is God giving it to Abram? It's a good question. God made all of us enough to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. If you will show up and shine in that arena, I promise you, you will find so much fulfillment, so much joy, so much peace, so much profit, that like your life will feel magical, miraculous, supernatural. Maybe because it is. Whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Don't let the distractions destroy you. Because distractions destroy most people. They spend most of their life focusing on something that doesn't matter at all. Automation means that I have technology that does some of the work for me, right? Delegation means I pay other people to do some of the work for me. So automation and delegation are what buys back your time. But one of the reasons people don't have automation and delegation is because their perspective of money is off and they love the money more than they love the people. So one of the things you'll do when you begin to build a real business, when you really understand how life works as with an overarching perspective, God's design, which I believe the purpose for all of our lives is creation. We're supposed to create stuff that other people value. And then connection, we're supposed to connect with other people because none of us have all of the sauce. But unless you have all three, you go through life, you don't know exactly what it is, but something's missing. If you're feeling like, I like what I do, but I don't feel fulfilled, the reason you don't feel fulfilled, I promise you, is one of those three things is missing. What is a heartaholic? Somebody who's addicted to difficulty. Like, I am blown away by how many people do things like they find the hardest possible way to do a thing, and then they do it that way. I guess maybe it makes them feel smarter. I'm going to tell you right now, stop it. In fact, my objective in this live video is to help you go from being a heartaholic, doing all the hard stuff the hard way for the hardest possible time period possible, to stop being a heartaholic and become an easyologist. Now, I don't mean be lazy. When I say stop being a heartaholic, I'm just saying, like, stop doing stuff the hard way because it makes you feel like you're more noble. It makes you feel smarter. It makes you feel more diligent. Be diligent. Work hard at the stuff you're working on. But don't do the thing you're doing the hardest possible way just because it's the hardest possible way. If you're worrying about everything and praying about nothing, you can't. Not if you're not intentional in your mind, you can't. Now, be careful for nothing. What do I do? Here's the concept that's going to melt your face. We have control over what we pay attention to. Why did he get her attention on the one thing she lacked? Because he knew that where attention goes, intention follows. We can decide. Everybody say decide. We can decide what we pay attention to. So these thoughts that are trying to infiltrate my mind, that are making me have anxiety, I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to think about the fact that whatever I'm going through it with the Lord. He ain't worried, I ain't worried.